Welcome, everyone, to episode 37 of the Golden Squeeze podcast. We are a little bit behind, but we're going to be talking about Raw, NXT, and maybe even get over to SmackDown. But we're going to start off with Monday Night Raw, which led off with a Gunther promo where he apologized to Damian Priest. He issued an apology for the way that he spoke to him in the previous episode of Monday Night Raw. But as normally happens in wrestling, when a heel's apologizing, it is not sincere, and this was no different. But he told Damian Priest to get out there, which he did, and then Damian Priest cold clocked him in the face, and then they started wrestling all around the arena for a good portion of the show. This is good stuff here. Damian Priest, he's starting to come into his own. It's a shame that he's starting to realize his potential about a week before he loses his title, but here we are, and I think this is going to be a good match. Yes. Damian has the opportunity here, win or lose, he has the opportunity to shake the stench around him, right? He has had issues with his past two PLEs with bad botches. Bad. The one on, what was the last pay-per-view that was big? Money in the Bank?
Yep.
Yeah, the Money in the Bank one was awful. And then when he got his leg caught and the ropes at
Clash of the Castle.
Clash of the Castle. That was bad. Looked painful. He's got to have a clean match. He cannot afford another botch. Well, I guess he can't because he's going to lose his title. But if he does keep his title, he cannot afford another botch. But what did you think of the opening segment?
Think they've talked enough, and a good old fashioned brawl. Hey, works for me. Worked. It worked for the company, so hey, kudos to them. I think they took a gamble by being into the class warfare well, because with Gunther, it's always been, I'm going to beat you because I'm better than you. And then that happened to try to fully make Priest the face, and it worked.
Yeah.
You've got people him more, the boos are more noticeable for Gunther. He's still getting his cheers too, but he didn't really get a lot of heel heat because his presentation was, hey, I know I'm better than you. I'm going to prove it, and I continue to prove it. And so as much as I liked the promo and thought it was just so good old school heel stuff the week before, I just like better I'm going to win because I'm better than you. It didn't need all that other stuff, but they felt it did to benefit Priest, and it worked. And this worked too. So, yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. And there was a lot of things that weren't good in this episode of Raw, so seeing something that was good, always refreshing. But the next up on the show was another good. And this was Ilya Dragunov versus Braun Breaker, a number one contenders match to see who gets to fight Sami Zayn at SummerSlam. And great match.
Mm-hmm.
Bad ending, but great match. I understand the ending. It helps protect Dragunov, who I think does need protection, especially if you're going to continue to have him lose.
Yes.
But man, it was a nasty bump that he took when he took that spear out of midair from the apron. I thought for a second that he was actually hurt. Luckily, he didn't appear that he was. It appeared that it was just him selling. But it was a nasty bump. Bump.
No, I felt the same way when I first saw the spear and the way he hit the apron. But then when I watched it again, I was like, okay, it's just good Dragunov selling. At least that's what it appeared. I think a little time off for Dragunov would benefit all involved, because I agree. Hey, you can only protect the guy for so long and have him keep racking up losses.
Yeah.
And so let this feud with the Sami and Breaker play itself out, and then just get him back in there at some point. But I got to get in some W's. He's too good. But a very good match. Very, very, very good TV match for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and Breaker, man, it's good. He's good. He's super talented.
And the only reason I say good TV match is because I feel a PLE match should have like a definitive ending, as in a pinfall or submission.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by that.
Yeah. But then next up, we got something that wasn't as good. It was Sonya Deville versus Lyra Valkyria, and the way they're treating Valkyria, not a big fan of it. I understand they're trying to build up this stable of Sonya Deville and Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark and all them, but at what cost? Do it with seasoned talent. Let them be the ones to take the loss, not new talent who's recently called up. They just don't want to fall into the habit of. Valkyria is kind of like the Dragunov of the women's division, the way that they're treating her, letting them take the losses. But I mean, such is the business. Yeah, at least this was a situation where there was a little bit of interference when Shayna Baszler, Katana Chance, and Caden Carter and Zoe Stark, they were all fighting each other, brawling them, which Deville was able to capitalize on. But she ended up getting the win with the Deville's Advocate and got the win. Very nice name, very nice play on words for a finisher, and it's a good-looking finisher too. But what do you think about this whole situation?
Yeah, I agree. I don't like it. I don't like the build of that new stable coming at the expense of Valkyria.
Yeah,
but and I'm just kind of wondering where this is leading to. But yeah, I don't know, just speculation, just thinking of who is on the roster that could be added to the stable potentially for them.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly Kiana James, who I don't think has had a television match since beating Natalya, and what I thought was they utilized their minutes very well.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's a good talent that they've got there. They drafted her to Raw for a reason, had her beat Natty on TV. Her join DeVille and company, which eventually leads to the return of Becky Lynch to help her friend Valkyria, because the last interaction, I think one of the last things they had TV-wise, backstage segment anyways, was Becky Lynch and Valkyria in the locker room before her cage match with Liv Morgan. So,
right.
But so I'm just curious as to where this all goes, but glad they're giving a new stable wins, because I despise when they try to make you interested in somebody and then they have them lose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've been doing it. They have no problem making people lose. Invest in. It happens all the time. Hopefully they can fall out of that trap, because if you're gonna make a stable, just have them look strong. Just have them look strong, have them look good. It's easy to do, but we'll see how they handled it. But after this, we got another video from the Wyatt Six where we got to see Nikki Cross finally. And I think it was the first time that they had saw her in a video. These vignettes that they're doing. Obviously, we've seen it out in the ring because she's probably the most prominent one that we see go out in the ring, because she's the one who does all that creepy stuff all the time. But we got to see her talking with Uncle Howdy, and it's good to see. I hope that they have some direction for Nikki Cross. I hope they can actually give her a singles match at some point.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't this like just her kind of repeating the same little thing over and over? It was good.
Uncle Howdy was talking to her, if I recall correctly, and telling her to look at herself, and then she let out a scream. And,
the only thing I was disappointed about with this, I was hoping they were going to go in the direction of how Bo Dallas, the vignette, then they had Rowan do one out of mask. I know Bo Dallas was him versus Uncle Howdy thing, but then they had Rowan do the vignette. And maybe they still will, but I was hoping they would do one of those for then Cross, Gacy.
Don't think they're going to. I have not watched all of this week's Monday Night Raw. I have seen the first 30 minutes.
Right. I don't think they are either, because I know what you're referring to.
Yeah. They all come out and they all take off their masks.
Yeah.
When I say they all, Bo Dallas is not, but Joe Gacy, Dexter Loomis, and Eric Rowan and Nikki Cross all come out, take off their masks. Obviously, one of them doesn't wear a mask. Nikki Cross doesn't wear a mask, but the other three take off their masks. They attack the Creed brothers, and then Chad Gable walks up the stage, and Uncle Howdy comes out. He has to take off his mask, but the fact that they brought the other three out to demask themselves leads me to believe that they're probably not going to get a video like that, which I thought would make sense. I actually don't think it makes sense at all unless you do it that way. So now I think it doesn't make sense that they did Eric Rowan. You should have just left it at Bo Dallas if you weren't going to do all of them.
And maybe they still will. Who knows? We'll see.
You never know what the company's going to do. But
we'll see.
Yeah, they have announced the first match for the Wide Six, and it's not going to be at WrestleMania. I'm sorry, it's not going to be at SummerSlam. It's going to be in Baltimore, Maryland on Monday Night Raw. And
you going to be there?
I will not be going to that. If not for them announcing that, I think yesterday, I might have tried to get tickets to see that first match, but that's like an hour and a half drive, and I'd have to spend a bunch of money. And I think it's stupid that they're doing their first match on a Raw anyway, with how they built them up. They should have done something at SummerSlam or waited until Survivor Series or whatever, or Bad Blood or something. But it's a missed opportunity in my opinion, but it's fine. It's fine. Let's move on. Let's go on to CM Punk finally getting cleared. He finally got cleared, and I was concerned. I'm not going to lie, I was a little concerned. Obviously, we knew the match was going to happen. The matter was not if, it was when, and we all wanted it to happen at SummerSlam, but I think that they were trying to build in some contingencies just in case. I think that they could have slotted in Seth Rollins to fight Drew McIntyre if CM Punk was not cleared in time. And I think that they were having him involved in this just in case that happened. And now they have, they announced him as a special guest referee, and I actually think they did that because CM Punk was cleared. Had he not been cleared, I think it would have been McIntyre versus Rollins. I think they would have tried a way to make that work, but could be wrong. I don't know, but I think I'm right. But yeah, Seth Rollins is going to be the special guest referee. How do you think that they are going to use Seth Rollins in that capacity?
Now, I have not seen the segment for this week's show with the referee instructions, so I don't know what rules were set, not set, but I think SummerSlam 97, it was Bret Hart versus Undertaker, Shawn Michaels guest referee. It ended with Hart throwing a chair in the ring. Michaels gets on to him about bringing the chair. Hart spits in his face. Michaels swings the chair. Hart ducks, hits Undertaker. Hart pins Undertaker, and Michaels goes ahead with the count anyways. So, Burtonly screwing Undertaker and giving his heated rival the win.
Yeah.
So, it's a long-term game that I'm not sure about, but I could definitely see some situation where McIntyre inadvertently gets screwed by Rollins as the referee. And as much as it would pain Rollins, his mistake makes him have to give Punk the win.
Yeah.
So
I could see that. I could definitely see that happening. They got a lot of different angles they can go with it. I just hope it's good booking because I'm always skeptical that it will be when it comes to this company sometimes. But we shall see because we are only a week away or less than a week away from SummerSlam. So it's going to be a good one, I think.
I agree.
I think it's going to be a good one. Cleveland, Ohio. You guys are going to get a good one. But next up, we got something that nobody wanted. Xavier Woods, Akira Tozawa, and Otis versus the Final Testament. And this is just not going to end. They don't know when to pull the plug. That is one thing you can say about this regime. It is evident by some of the things they've done in NXT.
I wonder if it's finally done now because of what I know happens on Raw.
Okay, well, I don't know what happens on Raw. So yeah. I hope that it's finally done because I don't care anymore. I take that back. I take that back. I never cared.
Talk about missed opportunities. They had an opportunity for Testament to be on Raw, come in, immediately win the tag titles. Those are two big hosses who are very believable to beat any tag team on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
And why they decided not to do that, I just don't know. I mean, Judgment Day, I don't think, in terms of Stan Liv helping them get the tag titles, but I don't think that storyline needed belts with it necessarily. But to help build the credibility of Final Testament, yeah, having them steamroll the champions and get the gold and start steamrolling the tag division would be a good start.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the right call was made for sure with who won. But I don't really have much else to say about this. I think it's a waste of all parties involved in the Final Testament unless they start putting some gold on them or getting them some meaningful wins immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a wasted opportunity because we've talked about how good Karrion Kross can be if handled properly, and they haven't handled the situation properly at all. But it is what it is. Not much we can do about that except for bitch and moan, which I have no problem doing.
Yep. Me either.
Yeah, but before the match, actually, we got a backstage segment where the Judgment Day attacked Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn had to save Jey Uso from...
Getting my days mixed up here.
Yeah, I have so many issues with them bringing Jey Uso into storylines that he doesn't have any business being in. It's just annoying.
They're in the situation where it's still so popular that they feel like they have to find something for him to do, and they're running out of options until whatever the end game is with him getting back into the bloodline feud. Until then, I think they're just trying to figure out what they're going to do with him.
Yeah. I mean, Roman might come back.
And I'm still wondering how they're going to pull this off with him being on Raw currently.
Yeah.
So
they'll find a way.
Oh, of course they will. But
they'll find a way.
Will it make sense? Probably not.
No. But it's never stopped them before, and it's never stopped us from enjoying it. And something else to enjoy, after this segment, we got Chad Gable and the Creed brothers confronting the Alpha Academy and trying to get the Alpha Academy to join him with the Creed brothers. Did not go well, and Uncle Howdy made an appearance as well. And do we know why it's Gable yet? Like, is there like a legitimate reason why it's Gable?
I think, anyway, for viewers, I was wrong. It was Gable. It was not Jey Uso. So, for who they were really targeting, I thought for sure it was a Jey Uso.
We talked about, it would be way too convoluted if it was Jey Uso. It's much cleaner.
Well, no, but I think they intentionally, with the phrasing of one of the vignettes with Howdy and Bo Dallas talking about being and then Chad Gable made reference to it. He's like, I know they were talking about me on that tape, about, using your family and, or saying it's about family, but you're only doing it for your own self-serving needs, kind of a thing. And I think that's what they're implying here, is that Gable's doing. He's trying to get all these people and build up a stable to where he has all the odds stacked in his favor to try to get the Intercontinental Championship back.
Okay. Yeah.
At the expense of everybody he's like Jim Jonesing into him.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I just, there's just a lot of things going on in the company right now that I just feel like they're just biding their time, and they're just doing stuff just because they really don't have anything outside of Roman Reigns. And I think they're fine with the Punk McIntyre angle, but outside of that, I just feel like they're just waiting for Roman to come back. And I mean, because all SmackDown is just bloodline. That's all it is.
Or win the titles.
You mean?
I'm sorry.
Cody.
I'm jumping ahead. Well, first of all, I meant the tag time. That should happen too. Whether or not they'll actually do it, I don't know. But
You
I
talking
was
about Fatu and Tama Tonga?
yes.
Yeah.
That I think that's a no brainer. We shall see.
It's a no brainer only because of who has the tag titles right now. Like, no one cares if DIY.
I know. I love them. They're a great tag team. But you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean, just nobody cares. I like them. I like them in NXT. I don't know if I like them on the main roster. They haven't done it.
I do. When they've been given enough minutes, they turn in great performances like they always do. I do enjoy watching them, but you can just tell the fans aren't as invested in them as they were in NXT, and it's unfortunate because they are very good. But
yeah, I think because their ring gear sucks. They need to change that ring gear, get a little edgier. But they have their ring gears would be appropriate for NXT, in my opinion, and that's not what you want. You want main roster ring gear. But I digress. But let's move on to Sheamus. And Sheamus got an opportunity to avenge his beatdown from last week, and he went after Pete Dunne and Bronson Reed. And yeah, Pete Dunne, man, they don't have any direction for him really either, in my opinion, because they have him on NXT doing weird stuff. Now they got him on Raw doing this stuff. They just don't have anything for him. My recommendation for Pete Dunne is he needs to change his gear because his singlet looks ridiculous. He needs to do something with his hair because his hair is just out of this world. He needs to change the presentation of himself. Obviously, there's a middle ground between Pete Dunne and Bush. Okay, there's a good character in there somewhere because he is uber talented. He's got all the talent in the world. He's one of the better wrestlers in the company. But they need to do something with his.
I liked his original presentation as Pete Dunne.
Yeah, it was good. I always thought he needed to do something with his hair. That little side thing he does, I always thought that needed to change. But
I liked it because I mean it was different, and
it was
definitely made him stand out. And but
I'm a curmudgeon though. Different is a synonym to bad. So.
Yeah, but the NXT stuff, all of it, it's just weird. I agree. I agree.
Another weird thing is more Judgment Day and Jey Uso stuff, where Ripley was mad at the Judgment Day for attacking Jey Uso. And where are we going with this? Like, what are they trying to do with this? I already don't. Maybe I'm an idiot, and I know that I am. But like in the beginning with Dom and Ripley, I never viewed it really as like a boyfriend girlfriend type thing, and I viewed it more as like a you're my slave type thing, and you do as I say. And but that's always the way I viewed it, and I feel like now they're like trying to change that a little bit, like the presentation of their relationship to make it more of like an actual relationship.
What that means, it's almost over.
Yeah, I hope. Well, actually, I don't hope. I actually like Dom and Ripley and Liv Morgan. If it ends, it ends. If it doesn't, I'm fine with that.
Priest is full out babyface now.
Yeah.
Rhea's babyface. I think Dom turns on Rhea and cost her the match at SummerSlam.
No, I think it's Finn.
See, and I was originally thinking that, but
I think that Dominic Mysterio was the tool that they used to light the fire in Liv Morgan, and I think that Finn Balor is the tool that they're going to use to keep that fire going. That is what I think. I think that when Liv, because she burns all of Dominic's stuff, so she burns all Dominic's stuff on the newest episode of Monday Night Raw. So all the things that she gave him, she destroys the clubhouse on the most recent episode of Monday Night Raw. So the PlayStation that she brought from the TVs, she writes all over the wall. She destroys all that stuff. So she's destroyed everything that she got the Judgment Day. So she goes full on woman scorned in the most recent episode of Raw. I don't think that's conducive for the return of Dominic Mysterio to be the one that turns on him. It wouldn't make sense based off of the most recent Monday Night Raw. What would make sense, because they have laid these seeds now for 3 months since Ripley got hurt, whenever that was April. So for 3 months, they have laid the seeds of Finn Balor being the side piece in this whole situation. That storyline has to have a payoff, and I think that's at SummerSlam.
What about this? Turns on Rhea to get back with Liv. Rhea the match. But then ultimately Liv rejects Dom and reveals that she's been with Dom. Keeps his thermonuclear heat for costing Mommy the match. And he's right back into his spot of looking like an idiot, and they're all gonna hate him. They can't make him be a sympathetic figure. He's got too much heat. Natural heat.
Yeah. Okay. I could see that too. I think they have a number of ways they can go with this.
Yeah.
And I think that this is going to have a very enjoyable payoff, whatever it is, on Saturday.
And, and see, because of storylines like this, I really wish he had. Now, I'll get to your counterpoint before you even make it in a second. Lines like this make me wish that this year was starting 2 nights of SummerSlam, because either this or Punk McIntyre should be the main event of one of those 2 nights.
Yeah, I'll tell you what shouldn't be the main event. What's going to be the main event?
Well, no, and that's for two reasons. It's one of 2 reasons. Either Rock's coming back or Roman's coming back. I don't think it's going to be both, though. It's going to be one or the other.
No, I think it's going to be Roman and Jimmy. That's what I think. I think both of them come back together. That's what I think. But even if they weren't coming back, they still view that as being the number 1 title. And the way that SmackDown has been completely geared towards the bloodline, you got to make it the main event. I think they are coming back. But I'm just saying, even if they weren't, I still think it would be the main event. And I still think that they should lead off the show with Punk.
Man, there's so many different options, but I could see them holding off on Roman again and having Rock cost Cody the match and the title.
Here's what I need. And I'm going to say this as bluntly as I can. I do not care about Solo versus Cody Rhodes, not even the smallest iota. I don't care about that match at all. I need an interference. If there's no interference by somebody who has not been on television for at least a month, I don't care who it is. I don't care if Paul Heyman walks down those steps. I have to have an interference. In a perfect world, what happens is that this is my perfect world. Roman's music hits. He's got Paul Heyman on one side, and he's got Jimmy on the other. And then they walk down to the ring, and I don't even know what they're going to do. I don't care what they're going to do, but they're going to do something. I don't even need them to hit anybody. But when those 3 come out, and maybe, just maybe, Paul Heyman's still in a neck brace, which would be just a perfect icing on top.
No, he needs to be in a wheelchair.
If he's still selling these injuries, that would be ideal. I think it has to happen. Do you care about Solo versus Cody?
Solo's growing on me. I can't lie.
What is his in-ring work growing on?
I always liked his intensity in the ring. I always have. I just hated the way they started booking him.
Yeah.
First, and we've talked about this. You've put up social media posts mocking the present or the delivery of his promos. Not that they're great by any stretch, but they're getting better. I love these vignettes. I'm at the table, the rest of the bloodline in the shadows, Jacob Fatu in the back, waiting with the necklace. I'll get the name of it right one day, and just waiting to put it on him and doing the magical. I love them. I love them, but I think, and I know people are going to disagree with this take. Have no issue with them taking the belt off of Cody already. I don't.
Yeah,
but I don't know if the company feels that way. Because see, here's the problem. I've already planted the seeds for Rock versus Cody. So is that happening pre-Mania? Going to be Rock Roman at Mania? Or is it going to be Rock Cody in Mania and Roman solo in Mania? What are they going to do?
Could they do Rock Cody at Rumble?
Good.
Because I don't think they can do a Survivor Series. That's not enough time. For the way that the company has handled themselves recently, that's not enough time. Let me rephrase that. They need years to do a story. So I think Rumble would be an option. My hope is that we never get Solo versus Roman.
What venue is Rumble at this year? Minnesota?
The 2025 Royal Rumble is in Indianapolis, not Minneapolis.
Indy. Okay, Indy. Is it Lucas Oil Field, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a huge stadium, and in order to sell that out, but the Royal Rumble is a beast in and of itself. I don't think you even need a main event because the main event of the Royal Rumble is the Royal Rumble. They did Chase Field. That's not Lucas Oil,
dude. I think there's so many options. I just don't know because you know what the wild card in it is with all this is John Cena. Is he going to fight on his road to retirement? Because they're going to be big matches.
They're going to be big matches, but they're going to be matches that don't require a build because John Cena is the attraction.
Correct.
Storyline.
But
you there's put a month in advance and just say, "Oh, John Cena's going to fight CM Punk," and that's all you need to do. You don't need to do anything else.
Man, dude, I don't know. There's so many different options though, and
that's the good thing.
Yes,
because there came a time where everything was so predictable, and we're past that now. They have options, and that's what I like right now, is that there are options. We can't predict it. We can come close, probably. We can get in the ballpark, but they can swerve us. They can do whatever. Also, injuries are always going to play a factor, especially when dealing with a company like this. You never know what's going to happen. So I'm glad that we have options. That's good.
Yeah.
But let's not go off on too much of a tangent because now we get to talk about the most important thing that happened on this Raw. Not the last thing. The most important thing was Ripley and Liv Morgan's promo.
Oh,
that was the most important thing of the show because we're getting a payoff of something that has been 3-4 months in the making. And when you wait that long, this is something where we knew it was eventually going to happen, but it's finally here because Ripley is medically cleared, allegedly. She hasn't had a physical confrontation yet since she came back, so I'm assuming she's medically cleared. They haven't actually said that yet. I'm of the mindset she may not even actually been hurt, but I've come along and said she probably was. But she needed a little bit more from Dom Dom. She needed something a little bit more to mend the fences, the broken fences, and what she got was the unexpected. Liv Morgan came out, and Dominic laid into her. And I don't know why I really enjoy English to Spanish. I don't know why I enjoy that. Damian Priest does it almost every episode. He'll just randomly throw in like 5 Spanish words when he's talking English the entire rest of the time. I mean, that's what he does. He'll be like, "Hey, Dom, adios meal. Have you taken care of Ripley yet? Have you called Ripley yet?" He'll just throw in like 5 words. It's fun.
I apologize to our Spanish listeners for Josh's Spanish.
You don't need to add an S. Spanish listener, the one of our 4.
That's one. That's being very generous to our show.
Anyways, but Dom killed it, in my opinion. You may not agree. That's fine.
You ruined my life.
Yeah, because Dom has a way of making bad acting good, and him saying that stuff, it wasn't necessarily that it sounded good, but I still believed it. And it's weird because he does not deliver his lines very well. He's not the best promo ever, but it's the way he talks and the way you look at him. You're like, he doesn't need to be. He does not need to be those things, and I have no problem with it. He might even be like Charlie Dempsey level bad, but the way that he
stop.
Okay.
Stop.
Okay. He may even not be good, but he's good, and I don't know how to explain it, but there's just a quality to him that is so caricature-ish that it's like he doesn't have to deliver his line perfectly. He doesn't have to sound believable, but I still believe it. And then Liv, her acting with her being upset and crying, and
I need some real tears though.
I want the real tears, but it's not the same. But again, I'm going to compare her to Lola Vice. When Lola Vice couldn't get the real tears, I believed Liv, and it didn't make me cringe. Lola Vice made me cringe. Like, there's just something about it. It's just different. It's the same, but it's different because one is enjoyable, one is not. And then Ripley,
or as Cobra Kai said, different but same.
Exactly.
That may get us some thumbs up. I made a Cobra Kai reference.
Paul Hauser from Cobra Kai. You went to my wife's school. You were a classmate of hers. Do you want to come on the podcast? You have an open invitation.
Yes, please. Please.
Anyways, she licked his face. And a lot of school wrestlers took exception to this. I don't know if you saw, like, on Twitter, like Eric Bischoff and I think Bully Ray, they took exception to this. They're taking exception to this whole storyline and then also bringing Jey Uso into it. You know what? No, their issue is with bringing Jey Uso into it. Not this. Not this. Bringing a married man into the storyline in a love triangle for no reason except to potentially sabotage their real life relationship was their issue. Like, Jey Uso has no business being in this. He's a married man. Ripley's married.
Dom.
Yes, but that's in the storyline. That makes sense. Bringing Jey Uso into this to make it a love triangle makes zero sense. So what's the point of bringing a married man into it? Is like what their argument. Like, there's no point in doing that.
Because they needed something for him to do.
But they don't. Just take him off television. They took Roman off television. They took Jimmy off television. Why does Jey need to be on TV? And don't say because he's the hottest thing in the company, because the hottest thing in the company is still Roman Reigns. And he hasn't been on television since April.
No, I wasn't going to say that. But
you can't give me a valid reason why he needs to be on TV. Unless they think they don't have enough talent.
No, it's not always about that. Obviously seen the new gear in the stands. The foam hands.
Yes, I've seen the hands.
Yes. And so I don't think the company feels they can remove him from television right now because he is so popular. They need him at the live shows, or they feel they need him at the live shows to continue selling that merchandise.
They have Otis. Get Otis merchandise. You know, you laugh, but Otis is red hot right now too.
No. I am not. I will never dispute that. But my personal opinion.
Okay.
It's still a business, and I think it's hard. Roman aside, because he was on TV sparingly anyways. He's just that popular and that well presented. But with Jey, it was like that organic love from the fans and getting into the theme song and all that. He's so popular. And the fact that I think they just started selling those Yeet hands, because I had not seen them until recently on television.
Yeah.
And I don't think you drop a new piece of merchandise and then pull the guy, write him off storyline and not have him at the live shows to sell the merchandise. I just personally, and I'm like Gunther said, I'm not a businessman. I know that much that usually if they start dropping new merchandise, they're going to continue showing them on television and at live events So, but hey, I'm not necessarily disagreeing. Yes, they probably could have found other ways to do it, but again, it's so crowded. Even with a 3-hour show, there's so many different things going on. And not be surprised if in a different world where Jey was not as popular as he is, he would have already been written off of television until he gets reinserted in the Bloodline storyline. So that's just my opinion. So,
but anyways, Ripley licked his face. All is forgiven.
Sweet nothings like she used to.
Yeah, Dom's a better man than me. I wouldn't be able to handle that. I'll tell you that right now. I would not be able to handle that.
We wouldn't be allowed to.
No, that camera needs to stay waist up when or else the FCC is going to be all over the Monday Night Raw. I'll tell you that. But good on Dom. Good on Dom. Yeah. Let's move on.
How about did you see did I send you the meme? It's like that famous episode of X-Men, the animated series from the original run.
Oh, yeah.
When Wolverine's on the bed looking at the picture of Jean Grey, like rubbing it. And it was Dom rubbing that picture of Liv looking back with those jean shorts on.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll just tell you, for me, I would pick Ripley 10 times out of 10 if it was me. I wouldn't even hesitate. But anyways, let's move on. My wife doesn't watch these good, but Zelina Vega versus Zoe Stark. Zelina Vega versus Zoe Stark, and again, see, I don't understand this result in the grand scheme of things that they're trying to build.
Because Zelina won this, correct?
Yeah, Zelina
wasn't there
won.
some interference?
Yeah.
Okay. You mean? Don't get me wrong.
We had Valkyria losing earlier to Sonya Deville. I was just confirming
there was interference.
Yeah, we had Zelina lose earlier to. I'm sorry, we had Valkyria lose earlier to Sonya Deville to help build this stable, and then in the same show you have Vega beat Stark. It just that doesn't gel. It just doesn't quite make sense to me. But this stable's not going to go anywhere when the time comes.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will. Zoe Stark doesn't have the look to be successful in this company, I don't think. But we'll see. We will see. I think it's good putting her with somebody like Deville, who does have the look to be successful in this company. But I don't know. I don't know where they're going with this. I don't know why Vega got this win. It doesn't quite add up, but it is what it is. Your thoughts?
I agree. It's essentially another way of them doing 50-50 booking within the stable.
Yeah.
And the other stable that they're fighting. So yeah, I really don't have too much to add to it. I mean,
I think this loss also hurts Valkyria. It doesn't just hurt Stark, it hurts Valkyria, because if you're going to build the stable up to be a good stable, then okay, fine. Valkyria lost.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you're going to have the stable lose later on, then it's like, well, why are you going to have Valkyria lose? Doesn't make any sense. Why are you sacrificing someone to a losing stable? Doesn't make any sense.
I agree.
Doesn't make any sense. And what else doesn't make any sense was the main event. Jey Uso and Sami Zayn versus the Judgment Day. It makes sense in the context of this episode, but again, all right, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Find something else for Jey Uso. Let him go on vacation. Let him spend time with his wife and kids.
Did the Judgment Day lose this match? They did.
Zayn and Uso won this match. Of course.
But that's another thing I don't get. It's essentially 50-50 booking. Just in another way of doing it. You have them win the championship, and then you have them lose to a thrown together tag team.
Yeah.
I've never ever liked that. I know it's a method they use. I like the Brothers of Destruction, so I can't. Yes, I have supported many a tag team that have been thrown together, but still.
Rock and Sock.
And I guess, okay.
Team Hell No.
And I guess this team was essentially thrown together.
RK Bro.
But
pretty much every tag team ever.
Yeah. But my point is, you had the tag team champions lose to a non-tag team. Regardless of who they are, I don't like it. Didn't Braun Breaker attack Sami Zayn after this?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he close out the show standing tall, Braun Breaker? Or is that what happened?
I mean, yeah.
Or did I just dream that?
No, that happened.
Okay.
My only concern with that is now that he's been believe that Sami Zayn might win.
No.
This is the June. This is the July 22nd Raw, not the July 29th.
They've got a chance to remedy that, and I don't know what happens with that, so we'll see.
Well, neither do I.
All right, so let's get to NXT.
Well, overall, as a show, it was a fine show.
Okay.
It had its moments. It had its ups. It had its downs. It definitely furthered storylines, especially concerning the Judgment Day. So, all in all, it was fine. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst. It was kind of for the penultimate episode before SummerSlam, it accomplished what it needed to accomplish. So now we can move on to NXT, the last NXT before the Great American Bash begins. And it started off with Trick Williams and Cedric Alexander agreeing to fight. And where did Cedric Alexander come from? Like, he just kind of inserted himself.
I believe he was on SmackDown after the draft. But they came to him and I think him and the Adonis came over together, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they were there on this episode.
And what does WWE do? They keep perpetuating certain things, and it's been a pet peeve of mine for a while. I've mentioned it numerous times. We don't always have to go black on black. We don't always have to go white on white. We can mix and match. I don't know why they have not integrated wrestling. Like, why are we doing this?
Building to it, Pete Dunne was in the background of Trick complaining in the locker room, so we know that's coming.
That might be coming. But we don't have to have him run through every black person before it comes. It just doesn't have to be that way.
We don't have
to have Cedric getting bouncy too. We don't have to have that. You know, we don't need everyone being bouncy. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, okay, it does make sense. I get it, but we don't have to do it though. Like WWE really goes by. You know, like when you're comparing a basketball player, you can never compare like a black person to a white person. Like you can't have like a black player's comp be a white person and vice versa. Like I got to compare Steve Novak to a white, or I got to compare
a white.
And I feel like that's what wrestling does with their booking. They're like, when this black person comes, he's got to go to these other blacks. He can't go to a white person, or else he'll look like an Uncle Tom. That's no. The fans don't think that. I don't think that way. I don't think that you think that way. I am fine if a black person has a confrontation with a white person. I'm fine with that. I don't think that's racism. I think that what they do when they combine the blacks and the blacks all the time, that is racism. That's the racism. It's one of two things in their thought process. They think that, oh, if I have this white person beat this black person, then the fans will think that's racist. I actually think that may be the way that they think sometimes. That's how they think that we'll think.
It might be.
And you know what? I can also understand their standpoint with the way that they did Bianca when Becky came back. I think that people might have think that. But that was only tragic. Because she beat her in 12 seconds. If Becky had won in 12 minutes, nobody would have said anything. But when you beat her in 12 seconds, that did seem a little racist. And I think they might be concerned that they might replicate that.
No, that was horrible. That was a horrible, regardless of, even if it's just a dumb decision. It's just that was bad.
Bad look. I think they're scared they're going to do that again. And they're just going over the top.
Phil Hellmuth would say, "It's so bad."
I mean, that's what this is. I think that they think, okay, we can never be accused of being racist if we only let the blacks and the whites fight amongst themselves. It's just stupid. But I'm not going to do this today. I'm going to stop doing it. I've already done it. So I'm going to stop. But anyways, Trick Williams, Cedric Alexander, they agree to fight. And yeah, they had a confrontation in the ring. Cedric sounded like Cedric sounds. I mean, he definitely sounds better than most of their roster on the mic, but he himself is not the best in the mic. But he's fine. I have no problem with him. He's fine. He's like I said, he's one of the better ones that they would have. But that doesn't make him good. It makes him tolerable, which is fine. So, yeah, I didn't like this opening segment. I didn't like it. Unintended reasons, the reasons that I just went on a rant about. But did you enjoy it?
Really?
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't care. No one cares about Cedric Alexander at this point.
He's a good wrestler. He's put on weight, like he's put on muscle for sure. Because remember, he was a slim and trim guy.
He's a 205 lifer.
Yeah, but no, he's definitely put on some weight for sure. That strength up a little bit, even though he looked ripped up from what I can remember. But enjoy the first match though.
Briggs versus Jensen.
I did. I thought that was a very good match.
Oh, they're good. Briggs is a good wrestler.
Yeah.
And Jensen's not bad.
Yeah. I thought it was good. I enjoyed this. I thought what needed to happen. Let me. What needed to happen based on the story they all of a sudden decided to start telling happened. The right result happened from that standpoint. However, they kept running that Josh Briggs vignette every single week at the PLE. Who is Josh Briggs? Like he was like making you think he was going to get repackaged or something, and then comes out and loses and doesn't have a Great American Bash match. It's just stuff like that. In NXT, they've been doing stuff like that. They like and even with Brooks Jensen, like, yeah, he got that win, but then just some of that 50-50 booking when you have him like do these run-ins when he's not with the company or whatever, and interfering in matches and costing Trick Williams matches by like being this crazed man and doing I want another chance, and then he's already losing. I think he's lost 2 of the 3 matches since he's been back. It makes no sense. I just don't get it. But the in-ring product has never been the problem. It's the consistency of the storytelling NXT here of late. And with honestly, with the exception of Obafemi for long-term consistency.
Yeah, the only one.
And I mean, and when I say storytelling, it's, hey, I'm big, I'm strong, I'm bigger, I'm badder and better than you, and you're not going to beat me. And nobody does beat him. I am perfectly okay with that story.
Yeah, they've stayed consistent with that. I mean, when you've got, there might be some people who might try to argue about Trick Williams and consistency, but in my opinion, he hasn't had any consistency.
No, and dude, I don't know why they started doing that thing they did with, oh man, what do I need to do? Paige isn't going to give me a title shot. It's not up to him. What champion has not been granted a rematch?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what am I going to do? It's like, dude. And then this big thing about your destiny with the amazing build, by the way, to the match with Carmelo Hayes. Those pre-match promos and vignettes with him and Philly and everything, dude, those were amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But to go from that to being like, I think it actually may be on this week's episode, but Pete Dunne does a promo. It's like, I've been in this business however long, and Trick Williams has a setback, and he all of a sudden doesn't know like what to do with himself. I was like, I like that. Okay, so if that's the direction they were planning on going, okay. But does it make sense for Trick Williams to do that with how he clawed his way to the top to get the win against Melo and then beat Dragunov? It just doesn't make sense.
No.
To have those things happen and then him be unsure of himself all of a sudden. And he didn't even get pinned. He didn't even get pinned. So that makes it make even less sense for him to feel that way.
Yeah.
In a fatal 4-way match. So
now let me ask you another question about Trick Williams. What happened with him in Lash Legend?
She ended it. And
I remember that they were outside and they agreed that they weren't going to do anything anymore. And that was it.
That was it. That's how they ended that.
I was always of the mindset that was not going to be it, and that they were going to come back to it. And they never did. So that was just a waste of a month or 2 months.
I think Noam Dar legitimately got hurt, as I think the plan was going to be for Trick to fight Noam Dar based on the Metaphor Sessions interview and him knocking him out with the spinning elbow. So I'm guessing that culmination of that was going to be at the end of that feud, and when he went out, they had to call an audible.
I hope that's the case, because just saying we're not interested in doing more than this.
Yeah,
separate ways. Very abrupt.
Oh yeah, because the crowd, the fans are reading that up. So I mean, they did nothing with
Nothing
Yeah.
with it. Just wasted. But anywho, next up we got Alexis King versus Eddie Thorpe. This was Alexis King is awesome, but that doesn't necessarily mean this match was awesome.
It was too short. Too short. I thought the match was good. I just don't know why they started doing this DJ stuff. Hey, if he's a DJ and that's what he moonlights as in real life, so be it. And I know I've said this before, I liked the vignettes of him talking about his Native American background and front of the big fire and everything. That was cool. They didn't build to this with him, Lexus King not liking the music. It wasn't necessary. Like I said before, he's a heel. Hey, you're back. I don't care. I'm going to beat you. The formula worked throughout wrestling history. The match was good. It was too short, but granted, we know this isn't the end. As soon as he got pinned, he came up and beat him up, and then the old dirt to the hand. So yeah, it definitely way too short. I think I'm hoping that these two get a 10 to 15 minute match somewhere down the line because I think it could be very good.
Oh, yeah.
So, but we'll see. The match was fine, just way too short, and great heel work from King afterwards.
Yeah, well, he's got the pedigree, so we'll see if he can live up to expectations. Yeah. But what didn't lead up to expectations? Well, actually did lead up to my expectations because I didn't expect anything. Oro Mensah versus Ashante the Adonis.
Yeah, Oro Mensah took this, right?
Yes, he did by pinfall.
Okay. Yeah, and then that's when Ethan Page came out, and Oro Mensah got the better of him, and the fans counted to 3, indicating that he would have beat him had it been a real match.
Yeah. I think that throughout, Page was trying to get a ref to say that. Wait, who did that? Someone was trying to get a ref to say that it was a 3 count. Definitely not this. Who was doing that?
I think Mensah. No, because something happened.
Something happened in some match where a ref didn't count to 3, and somebody was going around trying to get a ref to admit that it wasn't a 3 count. What? I'm not making this up. What happened?
No, Page eventually was like, no, that didn't count. There wasn't a match. There was
that's
referee.
What it was. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't a referee. So he was trying to get a referee to say it didn't count because it wasn't an actual match.
It just preposterous, but I mean, just Page is so great as being a heel, a hateable heel that it works.
He's good.
And
he's good.
But back to the match, though. I mean, I think we all know that this is leading to, and it's official. This is leading to Mensah versus Page, and so the result was never in question, barring interference from Page directly costing him. But the match was fine. Maybe nothing. Just the outcome was never in question.
Yeah. Another match where the outcome was never in question. Just kidding. It probably was, because I don't know who any of these people are. Ren Sinclair versus Carly Bright. Ren Sinclair with No Quarter Catch Crew versus Carly Bright with Kendall.
Okay, so we got to back up here. So Ren Sinclair is the one who witnessed No Quarter Catch Crew put their former compadre in the trunk. And she is wanting to be in the crew. They said no, and there was a thing like Charlie Dempsey was asking the Don, like, what do I do? He's like, figure it out. And then she's like, oh, I want to be in. And the Don was like, well, looks like you got to let her in to prevent her from talking. And she's like, oh, I may just say what I saw, or there may be somebody else. Like, no, just kidding. But I still may say what I saw. And so she's like, got a match, and y'all better hope that I win.
Yeah.
And so she goes out there, And who was with Carly Bright at ringside?
With Carly Bright was Kendall Gray.
Did you see Kendall Gray throw the dude from No Quarter Catch Crew?
No, I missed that.
Dude, I understand, helping to a degree, but she picked the dude up and threw him over her head backwards and did that again this week. I was like, wow, okay, that was pretty impressive. Anyways, Sinclair, is that correct?
Yeah.
So Ren Sinclair rolled up Carly Bright, and then Charlie Dempsey put his hand through the ropes on her back for leverage to get the pinfall. And Booker T goes, "Oh, that was beautiful." Joseph's like, "What beautiful? Like, did you see that?" It was just perfect. Just his reaction. Oh, I think he tried to say, "It's like what? It was a beautiful pinning combination."
Funny.
It was amazing. But so that little subplot, it's funny to me. Charlie Dempsey still not getting any better. It was funny to me. It's comical. So I enjoyed it. But you need to look up that girl tossing that dude from No Quarter Catch Crew. That was
I'll go back and watch.
Because dude, it's the blonde guy. He's not small, man. Dude, he's got to be two something.
Yeah,
easy.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh cow, that was help or no help from him." That was impressive.
I'll go back and check it out.
All right.
What I won't go back and check out was Cedric Alexander versus Trick Williams. That's what I will not go back and check out. Trick got the win. Of course he did.
And Vic Joseph called it the trick shot this time. So maybe next week it'll be the trick knee again.
Consistency, that's its key.
Yeah.
Keep making them the same mistake. Don't switch it up.
This match was fine. I was talking about this earlier with I think you were talking about with I'm not making this comparison because they're black, but you brought up and now it's gonna look worse because I think this is what we figured out we weren't recording. But you were talking about Jade Cargill and her moveset. Trick. I like that the crowd is into him. Can't be in denial anymore that I think he's got a great moveset.
Trick Williams is not good. I'm sorry. He's not. He's corny. He's very corny, actually. His matches are not great. He's got a good body. His ring gear is not very good. He's got a good theme song.
I don't mind the ring gear.
Yeah, it's too tight. He's too big. His legs are too big to be wearing those small tights. I know you don't like it. It's old school. Yeah, okay. But he's got
that didn't sound good either.
He's got a good theme song, and he's got a good physique.
Yeah.
Outside of that, to me, doesn't really have that much going for him. Not good in the mic, not great in the ring. I guess crowd engagement is obviously a plus.
Oh yeah.
But that goes 100%. Hand in hand with theme song. I mean, if the crowd's invested in you, that's what matters most. Am I invested in them, being a member of the crowd? No, I am not. But I also recognize that I'm probably in the minority with this, but I don't think that he succeeds at the next level, race aside.
We'll be very interested to see how they book Trick. Because at some point, he's going to the main roster.
At some point.
So I will definitely see. But, dude, he puts in the effort, dude. And I can't say that there's no matches from him that I've liked, because there's a few offhand I can think of that I really did enjoy and like with him. But
yeah, of course. I mean, I remember the table, ladders, and chairs match that they had with all the little people. I enjoyed that. I can find something at everyone's catalog that I enjoy. So, yeah, I like some of his matches. I like some Brooklyn Brawler matches, too. Like, what are we doing?
Dude, I mean, within that show, and he's going to get the title back. don't see a world where he doesn't beat the braggadocious heel and get the title back. I don't. So with that said, I'm saying, like, okay, during his championship reign, the once and future king, his championship reign compared to Obafemi's, I have enjoyed every single Obafemi match. I have not enjoyed every Trick Williams match.
When you watch an Obafemi match, you run the risk of seeing something that you have not seen him do. You never think that when Trick Williams is wrestling.
That's a great way to put it, because I don't feel like when I watch his matches, and they're enjoyable enough for me to watch, I'm not going to turn it off or anything like that. But it's, what was another one, like the main event of this episode was super excited about that, because I knew that was going to be a bell to bell great match, and it was. But I just don't feel that way when I watch his matches. I don't get that excitement, except for the Carmelo Hayes, because that build was phenomenal. But that was just old school booking, this, and they did that to perfection. It's about personalities too. The sidekicks are passing, the Big Shot, and then Big Shot getting jealous, and that's just like we always talk about, old school, tried and true booking. And they did that to perfection.
There's a formula. Follow it.
But with that said, that long-term build, because they had been together for a while, Trick and Carmelo were buddies for a while. Just, that's what made that so successful, was that type of build and that dynamic, and just everybody loves that story of, just getting rid of the hockey heel, and the guy kicked you to the curb, essentially. So but it's like, now that grudge match is gone, so I just have not been as interested. And then I tell you what, though, but they did not do him any favors by, he got the title from Dragunov, them putting him in this feud that was apparently going to be Noam Dar until Dar got written off.
Yeah.
That was just like, what are they doing?
Not the feud you want to give him, in my opinion.
No. You know what? I did, credit where it's due, I was looking forward, and I did enjoy the match, the singles match with him and Ethan Page.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I did like that.
You can find somebody in everybody's catalog. There's going to be some matches that you may like, but he's just very one-dimensional, in my opinion, and he needs to branch out and stop being that way.
Yeah.
But let's move on to what we got next, which was Meta-Four versus Sol Ruca and Carmen Petrovich. First thing I'm going to say is Sol Ruca should keep her hair straight. That's one thing I'm going to say. She looked good, in my opinion, infinitely better when her hair was straight than when she had the curls or whatever.
Oh yeah, it looked good. I mean, she's naturally curly hair, so I mean, that is what it is. But I mean, I like curly hair. But no, she did look good with the straight hair for sure. Definitely.
I prefer the straight hair look. I think she looks much better. I think she looks much less campy when she's got the straight hair than when she's got the curly hair, and the way that she books herself. It's too NXT. I think on the main roster she needs to have the straight hair because it doesn't scream NXT. But I don't know, might be nitpicky. Anyways, Last Legend and Jackson got this win over Ruca and Petrovich, and I kind of enjoyed this. It was a Sol Ruca match that didn't seem as choreographed as normal. That's always been my knock in her matches, is they don't. I think she'd be very good for AEW. I'll just put it that way. When you watch an AEW match, it just seems more choreographed than a fight. And there's a lot of people who like the choreography of wrestling. I prefer wrestling matches that look like a fight. When you go to a show, it's tough to see. I think that when you watch television, the way the camera angles are in the WWE and the way that they do their production, it can sometimes be a little bit tougher to differentiate who's really, really good from who's just good. When you go to a show, you can absolutely tell the difference between a Roman Reigns and disparage anybody except I don't. You can tell the difference between like a Roman Reigns and like a Dante Chen or somebody. I don't know. Like when Roman's punches, they all look like he's actually hitting someone, and they're just violent. And it just looks different. But when you get the lower level wrestlers, you can tell when in person that when they kick someone, they're really this far away from their face as opposed to actually kicking them in the face. For those of you that don't know, most of the time they're like really far away, but the camera when you're watching it on TV makes it look like it's vicious. But when you got like a Roman, like it looks like when you're in person, it looks like he's hitting them. It doesn't. It looks like a fight when Roman's fighting. It looks like a fight. But when someone like Solberg is fighting, it just looks choreographed. And that's the issue with AEW is all their stuff looks choreographed. When Will Ospreay does all that stuff, or when he was fighting Ricochet and Dave Meltzer was creaming himself, that looked choreographed. And that's the problem that Jim Cornette has, I guess, with that style of wrestling. It just doesn't look like a fight. It looks like dancing. I don't like dancing. I like fighting. And Sol Ruka needs to learn how to fight and stop dancing. That's my opinion of her. And that's a lot of the people on NXT. They dance. They need to learn how to fight. And I think they can. But
she's still
green.
Yeah, and then keep in mind too, not only is she still green, but she was on the shelf for like 7 months because of her knee.
Her knee, yeah.
So yeah, but
she can definitely do it. She can definitely.
I agree.
And there's potential there. She hasn't realized it yet. She's not that close to realizing it, but I still think she can because she's an athlete.
And the key thing is, man, she's got the look. That theme song's got to go. We both agree on that.
Theme song and her attire.
Well, I think
she's getting a little darker with her attire.
No, I was about to say, isn't she wearing like the jean shorts now, and like just like she's not wearing like the. Yeah, I agree because I was about to ask if it was just me, but I think it was last week and week for Great American Bash. Her attire was like it's not that loud anymore, but. Okay, so that's one tweak. They got to tweak that theme song. Just the in-ring consistency will come.
Mm-hmm.
But
because she's got a good finisher.
I was about to say, that's the thing. She has one of the best finishers. So I think one that the fans will eat up. And they already do eat it up. So I don't remember how did this match end? Was there interference from Fallon Henley, JC Jane, and Jasmine Nix?
Well, I know that in the end that Meta-4 had challenged Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
Correct. I know that, yeah. I remember them winning. I just don't remember. Oh, no.
No, it was clean.
No, it was clean because Ruka tried to get back into the ring. And she didn't. She got pulled back out. Yeah. Okay, never mind. Okay. I just... Anyways, yeah, but no, good match. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's fine. No real issue there. But after this, we got the main event.
Ooh, this was good. Oh man, this was good.
And Oro Mensah pins Oligo and Ethan Page again.
Duke Hudson versus Obafemi?
No, wrong week.
Oh. Whoops.
that was the week before this.
Oh, whoopsie daisies.
And we're not even at the main event yet. At the main event, but I'll tell you what it's not. It's not what you just said. That was the week before.
Okay. Whoops.
This main event was the Rascals versus Javon Evans, and which was also good.
It was incredible, in my opinion.
But we're not quite there yet because before we got there, they continued. So this is the segment where he got another referee to say that it didn't count. And then Oro Mensah came out and then he pinned him again. And then this time the referee said that would have counted. So they're just continuing that running gag, which is funny. So I don't mind them continuing that. And then I think that Joe Hendry also made an appearance at this point too.
I know that they announced he was having the concert this week.
Well, that's the appearance. I mean, yeah. So that was a nice piece of. I mean, it was just a little fun thing they're doing over there. I don't know how I feel about them doing fun stuff champion, but it's fine. It's fine, I guess, for right now. Ethan Page, he's one of those heels that he's a funny heel.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it other than he's a funny heel, which is fine. But let's talk about this main event. Now, all of my criticisms of the Rascals and of Wesley are unchanged, and nothing in this match made me change my opinion of that whole situation. It's corny. They were doing hand gestures, which are just stupid to me. They're grown men, and they're calling themselves the Rascals. I hate them. But they're talented in the ring. I mean, again, I'll give them that. They're talented in the ring, but I hate everything about them. I loathe everything about them outside of the ring work. And it's just not for me. It's not for me. It's for some people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And
I'm just not.
I'm not either. And there was to kind of piggyback off of that, there was, I think it was during Great American Bash, there was a vignette or some segment with the Rascals, and I immediately thought I was like, oh, he's gonna hate this. But dude, I mean, the in-ring work, and then just who they were going against too, you knew it was like, oh man, this is gonna be good.
Mm-hmm.
Because Javon Evans, dude, he's
the best person they could have picked to be the third for their squad, I think.
Yes. Yes.
Given the way that the Rascals fight,
yes,
there's no one better they could have picked than Javon Evans.
Yeah. And because
he can match their energy.
Oh yeah. And Axiom and Frazier, they're fantastic. And but okay, going back to what was discussed earlier, do you feel like this is it falls into the too choreographed category when it comes to this, just flipping and doing all that stuff? I mean, I loved this. Just the same way I loved the Kalani Jordan Sol Ruka match, even though it was choreographed, whatever. I enjoyed it.
But there's not a lot of there was selling in this match, and in the matches that I'm talking about that are being a little too choreographed, they're not selling as much as they should. So it's just dancing. Like
I'll tell you the dancing stuff
flips, but it also had selling in it.
Oh yeah, problem with it. I liked it. What I don't like is when you have these matches where you'll have each one, whether it be a men's match, women's match, tag team match, singles, whatever, you'll have them both randomly doing a cartwheel past each other in the ring and doing all this other weird stuff. And it's like, why did that just happen?
Yeah.
Just stuff like that. And that's the
waiting.
stuff. Yeah, that's the stuff
for a move
I don't
to happen.
care for.
Yeah, I don't like people waiting for a move to happen or waiting to catch somebody or it's but I have, and I don't want people thinking I'm just rapping on NXT. I have these same issues in WWE on the main roster with stuff like Rey Mysterio and the 619. Like I take exception to the 619.
No, that's the most believable move in history. You stop it.
All these suicide dives outside the ring. I take exception to these things because they're catching people. You should not be catching the person that you're fighting. That's why I like Samoa Joe so much when he just moves out of the way. Like things like that. That's one of my favorite things. And it's just I really enjoy these guys and their style. I do enjoy it.
I do too.
It's different than Will Ospreay versus Ricochet or Sol Ruka matches. It's just I can't quite explain it because some might view this as being choreographed too, but I felt like they were still I still felt they were fighting. I still felt they were fighting, and if I stop thinking that they're fighting and I start thinking that they're dancing, that's when I distance myself from the match. And I didn't feel that way with this match. I still thought they were fighting. It's just they intertwined a little bit of dance too, I guess is a way of putting it. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving a double standard. Maybe I'm being hypocritical. I don't know. But I did enjoy this. I think
this is good. Very good.
Which says something because I don't like most of the wrestlers or actors that were in this match. I don't like the Rascals, and I just don't like the Rascals. I really like Frazier and Axiom. And Javon Evans is growing on me. That's not growing on me. His in-ring work I enjoy. I enjoy his in-ring work. His outside the ring work is growing on me a little bit. I hate the bouncy thing, but I feel like the announcers, the ones who perpetuate bouncy, is not as much him. It's more the announcers, even though he does say it. But he's actually not that bad than Mike. I think that he's a lot more natural than I would have expected him to be. Even I just think that naturally he's a person I would never want to hang out with. That's just the problem there. I don't think that he's somebody who I would like as a person in real life. So I don't necessarily like him on the mic. But
Okay.
I'm being mean.
You are.
Yeah.
I would love to hang out with him.
I mean, he's 19 years old.
That's right. Yeah, that'd be kind of weird. Never mind.
Him and I have nothing in common.
So, going back to the match, the Rascals get the win, which is going to lead to a tag team title opportunity, which that's going to be fun as well.
It is, but that just means the Rascals are going to lose. Axiom and Frazier are going to lose their titles.
I think so, and because just going back to classic WWE booking, they took the pinfall. It wasn't Evans who took it. One of the champs took it. So I think naturally when it comes to the rematch, I think the champs are going to retain.
But I also feel like they've hinted at dissension between the two.
Oh, they've been doing that for months.
I know, but eventually they're going to have to act on it.
True. That's fair. And what also doesn't bode well is, now granted, they may have done this at Heat Wave too. I know because I saw it live today. For this week's episode, there were no title changes so far. So
okay. You can't have a 2-day pay-per-view or whatever it is, or PLE.
That's what I'm asking. Did they do that for? Or I'm sorry, not Heat Wave, for Spring Break-In? Did they have a title change over those 2 weeks?
I was hoping to never hear the word Spring Break-In again.
I'm gonna keep saying it, but anyways,
I don't remember.
Either way, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll get to that and maybe try to do a prediction show for week 2 because I completely forgot about it to do one for week 1. But something I want to go back to. San Perez and Thea Hale, if I'm not mistaken, they had a speaking segment with each other on this episode. Is that correct? Maybe this was okay. I think I'm sorry. They had a sit down interview with Thea Hale. And I didn't like it.
Week.
I didn't like it as much as the back and forth she had with Roxanne. But her being interviewed, I thought was, a different approach. And I thought she again held her own and did very well on the microphone. For her being 20 years old, being great in the ring, and already having the gift of gab on the mic, I think she's set, man.
That was this episode, and yeah, she's talented. She just needs to make some tweaks, and we've talked about the tweaks that she needs to make with her intensity.
Yes,
just tone it back. Just tone it back a little bit.
Because see, in the match, like in parts of the match, when she gets fired up and does the warrior, like not as fired up, but does the and then does the backflip on her opponent, like it's like all part of it, I don't mind that type of intensity, but all that. But I think thinking that may be coming to an end soon, and I hope it does.
So.
Dude, she is so, God bless, dude. For her, Roxanne's only 22, right? 20 as well, or is she? How old is she? Or is she like 22?
She was 20. I think when she first won the title. I think she's 22 now.
Okay, dude. My God, they're both good. But I personally think Thea is better on the mic than Roxanne.
Roxanne's not good on the mic.
Yeah. She holds her own in terms of, like, she remembers what she needs to say.
Yes, but it also sounds very scripted.
I agree.
She's 22. She'll turn 23 in November.
My God, dude. That the wealth of riches they have in that women's division down there. That's, oh my God. But yeah, no, it was overall. I thought it was a good show. Of course, a few down points, but overall, I thought it was good. Even the stuff with Charlie Dempsey, with him using leverage to help get the win, followed by the Booker T comment, it was good. I enjoyed it. It was good. Good stuff. So.
All right, and lastly, we come to SmackDown. Started off with LA Knight versus Legado del Fantasma member Santos Escobar in a match that saw some interference from Senor Logan Paul. Logan Paul's good. He's good. He posted on TikTok, and it had a song, and it was called Mr. Steal Your Finisher, and he did an edit where he pointed out all the times that he's stolen wrestlers' finishers. So he's done Hogan's leg drop,
Guerrero,
sweet gym music, Eddie Guerrero.
He did the Swanton one time, didn't he?
Yeah, it was like 8 or 9 finishers that he did like a montage of, and there was a song that was like "Mr. Steal Your Finisher." I'll send it to you. It was funny. It was funny. But awesome. Logan Paul, he understands the business. He's a born entertainer. Good on him. LA Knight versus Logan Paul.
Now, Logan won this match, right? I mean, Logan, LA Knight won this.
Yeah, even with the interference.
Yeah, dude. And I hate, again, and we'll talk ad nauseum about winning at the expense of certain people. Dude, Santos Escobar is too good, and in my opinion, has way too good of a look to be used like this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very unfortunate, dude. He is so good.
Has anyone in either of those stables been booked well? Legado del Fantasma or
Ray picking up wins? No, not really. No.
So shouldn't expect anything else.
I know.
Andrade's probably wondering why he came back too.
I think he'll be okay.
Maybe. I saw Charlotte rolling around in the ring on social media. So she's getting closer.
They had the video pop up of Alexa Bliss practicing Twisted Bliss.
Yeah.
So we'll see, man. A lot of folks on the shelf that good ones that are due to come back soon. So
yeah.
But yeah. The match was fine. Looking forward to Logan Paul LA Knight, but again, just wish it wasn't at the expense of Santos Escobar. But very good match. I enjoyed this.
Yeah. And then after this, we got Solo letting Nick Aldis know Tama Tonga and Jacob Batu are going to be inside the gauntlet match.
That eye patch was amazing.
Yeah. I think he stole that patch from Trump's ear, put it on his eye.
That patch, dude, that was great. It's like they could have just gone the sunglasses route, but nope.
Nope, it went with the patch. But yeah, the second that I saw that they were going to be in the tag team gauntlet match, did anyone think that anybody else was gonna win?
Oh, I didn't think, even if it was Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, I didn't think they were going to lose.
Right.
But yes, even more so when
Jacob Batu, they're going to have that monster lose his first match. But after all that, we got a promo from Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. We talked about this earlier off camera, the floundering of these two, and hopefully we start to get a little bit more into this storyline because they haven't had the titles now for a month, 2 months. They haven't even gotten a rematch for the titles, and they're kind of just doing stuff at this point. There's no real direction to their characters, in my opinion.
I said I think the dissension is coming soon. A backpedal on that from the previous conversation. Match has to happen at Mania. With that said, maybe they do regain the tag titles, lose them at the Rumble, depending on the order of the match. That would determine me saying this. And then if they drop the titles, one of them eliminates the other in the Rumble, leading to. We can get into that another time and another day. I don't really have whole lot to add to this. I am genuinely curious to see if they get the titles back this weekend.
Yeah. We shall see. We shall see. Other tag team news. We got the gauntlet match. We started off with Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin beating more Legado del Fantasma members, Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. I'm fine with those two losing because I want Corbin and Crews to succeed.
I know, me too.
And we all knew that Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo weren't going to win this gauntlet match.
I know,
so,
but they're again, dude. It's just don't like the way they've been booked. But
yeah, neither do I.
That's what it is.
It's tough to book well in a match of this caliber, of this type. But Crews and Corbin got the win. Not win. They got the first pin. They got the first win against Garza and Carrillo. And then out came the Street Profits. And it was pretty easy to predict how each one of these matches were going to go, especially after the first match. And maybe it can go either way for Garza, Carrillo, Crews, and Corbin. I thought that they were going to give Corbin the win because I feel like this might be Corbin's first match in a while. I don't recall when the last time I saw Corbin wrestle on SmackDown was, and I don't know if he has wrestled since he got drafted. Maybe he has.
No. He definitely has because remember he
was high-fiving fans.
Yeah, he lost to Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah,
and then he has since fought against somebody in Legado del Fantasma because that's how him and Crews ended up getting the tag team for him.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Well, the next team that came in the match was the Street Profits, and I think that we can all agree that there was really no way that Crews and Corbin were going to beat the Street Profits.
I agree.
And then Pretty Deadly came out, and
God, they're awesome.
They are awesome, but also I never thought that Pretty Deadly was going to be able to beat the Street Profits. And then Gallows and Anderson came out, and I never thought the Gallows and Anderson were going to beat the Street Profits. And then Fatu and Tama Tonga came out, and I thought that there was no way the Street Profits were going to win that match. So the first match was really the only one that had any type of suspense, in my opinion. And even that one, I thought that it was going to be Crews and Corbin.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, because right now the Good Brothers are working heel. Pretty Deadly, their heel. So, it had to, common sense would say, just booking wise, it had to be Bloodline over the Street Profits to be over the only face team left in the gauntlet.
Yeah. And we got to see some Jacob Fatu. I like seeing Jacob Fatu.
Oh, I enjoyed this whole gauntlet match. I thought it was very good.
They normally do gauntlet matches pretty well in the company.
Now, there was a spot in there when Pretty Deadly was in. I feel like there was a move overshot or something that one of them, I was like, oh boy, that could have been very, very bad. But it ended up being okay. I wish I could remember the exact sequence of it, but immediately I was like, ugh.
Well, that reminds me, there was a move that was done to Apollo Crews that looked to have snapped his neck in half. And
yes.
He went down,
yes.
And the ref ran to him. And you know they do in wrestling for the four of you. The ref will touch the hand, and if the wrestler squeezes the hand, that means that they're okay. If they don't squeeze the hand, that means that they're hurt badly. And I saw Apollo Crews squeeze the referee's hand, which signified that he was okay. But it looked,
Thank you for reminding me about that because
his
definitely
neck
forget
got
about
crunched,
that.
But he's got so much muscle that
well,
he's very compact. So
God, I wish I could remember the move for Pretty Deadly. Was it like some knees to the back that got? I can't remember. I'll have to go back and take a look. But anyways, at least definitely that mishap and with Apollo Crews, and I'm almost certain there was another one with Pretty Deadly.
Yeah, you're probably right. Moral of the story is that we got a new contender for the tag team titles, and
it's going to take it home.
Yeah, it's going to be Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga versus the current tag team champions, who also go by the name of John DIY.
You think they do? You think they do Freebird rules until Fatu gets the U.S. title from LA Knight?
I think that they are making Tonga lower hurt because they know that that he's not very good. So I don't know if they're going to do Freebird rules because I don't think they want him fighting. Just being honest, I don't think they want Tonga Loa fighting. He's a botch machine. He's not very entertaining. So
we'll see.
I don't know.
Assuming LA Knight wins, that definitely think Bloodline should have all the gold. That's my opinion. So see, but I enjoy this. It was good. It was good.
Very good.
So what was next?
Next was Terrence Crawford. Bud Crawford in his hometown came out and had a conversation with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, and it further.
Wait, and where was this?
Omaha.
This put my previous theory to bed. Remember, I said, yeah, they told Terrence Crawford, his promoters, you are not stepping foot near that ring. You're not going to risk doing anything to hurt yourself. Oh, he got in the ring and he
helped further the storyline between Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah, he did, he, you know how some of these fighters will come in there and they'll throw a punch that doesn't look that real. This was not one of those.
No. And the look on Grayson Waller's face was like, you just actually hit me. Austin Theory's face hit me. I'm sorry. On Austin Theory's face was, you just actually hit me, because Grayson Waller did what he does best, and he threw Austin Theory into harm's way as Bud Crawford. The funny part about that was the willingness of Bud Crawford to punch him in the face, because Grayson Waller essentially said something blaming Austin Theory, and then he punched Austin Theory and not even giving Austin Theory an opportunity to talk. So that was funny. How much longer until they completely are disbanded? Is it before Survivor Series, at Survivor Series, or after Survivor Series? Now, let me rephrase that. When does Grayson Waller fight Austin Theory? Bad Blood?
And that's when I would think, but just know if they'll have enough room on the card.
They got to do it sometime.
Yeah, but no, that go with Bad Blood. Yeah, yes, Bad Blood.
Bad Blood.
Yep. But good luck to Bud Crawford this weekend, by the way.
Oh.
I love Bud Crawford.
He's the best.
Oh, he's
the best.
You just never know in boxing, though, man, or any type of combat sports. You just never know.
Yeah. But next up, we got a promo from Cody. Well, like a backstage vignette / promo type thing. And man, did Cody, in my opinion, and this might just be me, he sounded very uninspired when he was cutting this promo. And normally he talks with a passion. I like to call it a lispy passion, but I don't call it that. I just made that up. I didn't get that from him. He just seemed a little bored. It wasn't, and it was a backstage segment. I felt like they should have redone it and made him give him a little bit more passion, but he's trying to sell his match with Solo. So I don't care too much, but
I actually don't recall how this promo went, so I don't know if I missed this or what. So
he was like, he was in like a cigar room, like talking about the match. I mean, there was nothing to it. It was just your typical build-up type thing. So I mean, there really wasn't much into it, but
okay.
He was just saying he's ready for Solo, blah 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 blah, and there just wasn't a lot of engagement from him, which is not like him. So
okay.
it was a little weird for me.
Fair
we don't need to talk about it much more, because what we do need to talk about is the main event, and they have set the table for Nia Jax I thought that they had set the table for Nia Jax providing a new briefcase to Tiffany.
I was pissed that she does not have one yet. But she assured her, she was going to get her one.
So my question is, does Nia Jax win? And then she brings out the briefcase, and then Tiffany Stratton is there to help celebrate. And then, in a twist, Nia gives a gift to Tiffany Stratton, that gift being a new briefcase. And then right when she's about to give her the new briefcase, he smashes the new briefcase over Tiffany's head. That's what I'm going with.
What Nia said to her was like, I promise I'll get you a new briefcase. Like, but, like, and then, you can think, what'd she say, cash in on who? Remember, she's like, you could She's like, you could cash in on Bailey now, but then, you'll only be champion for a week before I have my mandatory match or whatever.
Yeah.
So don't know. I don't know how they're going to do this. For Charlotte comes back, it's going to be to confront Stratton. Again, does that happen now or at Mania? Or in the build to Mania?
Build to Mania.
Charlotte win the Rumble.
Charlotte's a good.
Charlotte win the Rumble. Elimination Chamber.
Who? That's a good question. I'll say Chamber.
I don't have a problem with her winning the Rumble as long as she is not announced prior to. That is why I hated when Cody won the first Rumble so much.
Yeah.
Because, hey, if they would have just said, hey, this injury usually takes this long, left it at that, like they did with Cena. Just when the build to him coming back, it just made it, first of all, there was no surprise. And then that's why I personally thought I was like, this just seems way too obvious. Everything about this is too obvious for him to win. I mean, yeah, to win and beat Roman Reigns this time, regardless of if you feel like he should have or not, or shouldn't have. And depending on which websites you read from for wrestling news, supposedly until late in the game, the plan was for him to win the first time, and then they called an audible. So, but either way, I wouldn't have a problem with Charlotte winning. If they do, I hope they keep the element of surprise. That's me.
That's been lost in us with recent Royal Rumbles. The element of surprise.
Yeah.
Not too many surprises from a guest standpoint. And, from everything else, but
yeah. Anyways, what was this match? It was Mishin and Bailey versus Nia and Tiffy, correct? Okay, I enjoyed this, first of all. I enjoyed this match. Tiffany is good. She's ready for a run with the title now, but I know I've got no problem with slow burning the story with her and Nia for a little bit.
Yeah.
Assuming Nia wins SummerSlam, has improved leaps and bounds in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I know the argument could be made, hey, they've rewarded her that with the King of the Ring win and her recent booking. So be it. Give her another run with the title for a little bit.
She's a believable champion.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. Most believable champion.
100%.
Clear Belair.
Yeah. Or, dude, Tiffany is jacked. Tiffany is more than believable. I know the spoiled girl thing. I think her character gets lost on people when they think of credible threats. But dude, she is a big athletic girl. They give her a little bit of a run. That me personally. And
they will.
But even I'd be okay with Nia winning, Charlotte coming back, those two starting a program. With Tiffy looming in the background with the briefcase. I'm perfectly okay with that. So I was genuinely shocked to see Bailey pinned cleanly a couple of weeks before SummerSlam by Nia.
And if we're talking realism, though, Nia should be able to clean Bailey. Nia should be able to pin Bailey.
Yes. Looking forward to that match, though. The singles match, I am. I had Jax really call her BBL Bailey.
She must not know about OG Bailey, because Bailey's always had.
No. Did you read what Nia? The reason I asked if she really said that because I saw something where Nia explained why she said that. I was like, she didn't really say that, but she said, okay. Well, she said, Bailey's kind of come a long way. She's like, I think she's starting to embrace her God-given gifts.
She does have some. There's no denying that. But in the promo, she kind of looked back there, and so that's why they're calling you BBL Bailey.
Okay. I must have. I must have just remembered hearing that. I was still recovering a little bit over the weekend when I watched that, but man, overall, I thought it was a good show. How did we're missing something here. Didn't close with the bloodline. Is that how it ended, or did it end with Solo saying if Like, I'm going to win the championship, and if Cody Rhodes or if anybody or Roman Reigns has anything to say about that, like, they know where to find me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It ended with Solo talking with the bloodline behind him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see, man. And dude, and I got to admit, I was livid when I saw that.
When you saw what?
That vignette. Again, that just screams to me, Roman's coming back this weekend. It was going to be a Money in the Bank. So I'm on pins and needles. Like, hey, when is he actually going to come back? Because, and I forgot about that in me and yours earlier conversation. Because when me and you were talking, I was like, it's either going to be Roman or Rock coming back at SummerSlam. Maybe both, but I think it's one or the other.
What's wrong, man? That pop is going to be insane.
Oh, dude. No,
I
agree.
wait to get those goosebumps.
But again, dude, it's just like I was saying with the surprise thing. We all know it's going to happen, but not when. But when you're like, if Roman Reigns, because all he said is Roman's not coming back. He hasn't addressed how he got the necklace, nothing. So just leave it at that. Leave it. Surprise me. You don't have, I didn't want Solo, like, for him to come back. I didn't want that. But I live it. I was disappointed. I gave the TV a stern finger wagging.
In clouds at your house.
Yes, exactly.
Old man punches cloud.
Yeah. Dude, we did it. I think we covered everything.
I think we did too. So that is going to wrap up episode 37 of the Golden Squeeze podcast. If you like what you heard, go ahead and hit that bell icon, like and subscribe. And we will see you on the next one of the Golden Squeeze podcast.
Oh, that was extremely drawn out this time. There it is.
Yeah.